So it's time to go over the second half of the casual commander ban list from this local game store that decided to take the ban list into their hands. They decide, you know what, they're going to take agency over this ban list because there could be some problems for other people in the community. Now, in our last video, we went over the fact that they banned, like, basically all the good fast mana, the positive mana rocks, free counter spells, and any tutor, almost any tutor. I mean, I don't know all the tutors in the game. I was learning about tutors as we went through this, that are 2 CMC or less. Basically, they banned them all. And then we're going to today go look over the extra turn spells and then the extra spicy cards they decided to ban in addition to all this other stuff. Now, an interesting thing since the last video is that actually we got people from the local game store and the employees actually talking to me in the comment section. So we got Andrew here, says, so I work at this local game store and have fingerprints all over this list. I collaborated with the regular players we have at the store owners, and content from MTG channels on YouTube, including EDH Deck Building. Shout out to EDH Deck Building. We put this list together to host commander tournaments with lower powered decks to recreate an older style of commander for some of our more experienced and more budget players where the game is more commander-esque. We want to see synergy and not consistency. This list is not a standard ban list for regular free play. You can still come in and pick up game and have all your tutors and whatnot. It's specifically for a tournament we hold every other weekend. The other part of the casual commander tournament is the point system we use loosely, based off and inspired by Star City games, which isn't being discussed at all. Not yet. We will talk about the point system today. You guys are gonna have to teach me about the point system because I don't know how point system works. I don't know how those points. The only system I know is you win the game, you win the game. All right, so let's take a look at all the banned cards in this format. Make it fair. Starting with Alchemist's Gambit. Generally double red, 1 generic. But it's got cleave for 4 generic, double blue, and 1 red. Take an extra turn after this one. During that turn, damage can't be prevented. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game, and then you have to exile Alchemist Gambit. So for 7 mana, damage can't be prevented, and you get an extra turn, and you're not going to lose the game. They should have left out older style of play. Most of the more powerful cards are older, now reserve list. You know, some people were also mentioning in the comments section, why not make like a modern commander? Like, one problem is the reserve list. A lot of people like, they hate that the reserve list cards are so expensive. Do what basically regular Magic did. There was Legacy, but then they made Modern. No reserve list cards whatsoever. It doesn't mean it's a cheap format, though. You be careful thinking that it's going to become a cheap format. Wizards will find a way. Wizards will absolutely find a way. Oh yeah, Alchemist Gambit is the first extra turn spell. Now we got Alruns Epiphany, which actually got altered in Alchemy because this card was so good. I was so surprised. It looks like 7 mana for an extra turn spell is just not enough. And yeah, you can sort of cheat this in play for 6 mana. Alruns Epiphany, sorcery, create 2 1/1 blue bird creature tokens with flying. Take an extra turn after this one. Exile Alruns Epiphany. Or you can foretell it. So during your turn, you can pay 2, exile the card from your hand face down, cast it on a later turn for 6 mana. So I guess this is just their win condition. In the standard formats. This is really strong. And now copy it. What is everyone's opinion on extra turn spells in Commander? Are they annoying? Do they make you angry? Are they not really a big deal because they're basically an explorer? What is up with it? And with that, as you get your answers, and we've got Svetozar Ivanov. Thank you so much for the 10, Bulgarian dollars. Originally played MTG around 2009 to 2010. Recently, I came back to it after 10 years. Welcome back. I cannot understand the appeal of the Commander format, mostly because of the high randomness of it. Well, that's that's a feature, not a bug. It is quite random. You got one card each, and it creates a lot of different games. You know, in constructed formats, you're going to get the same games over and over and over and over again. Like, you know, there's a point where a standard can become stale because of the consistency of the decks. But in Commander, because it's a singleton format, anything could happen. Every single time you pick up your deck, assuming you don't have too many tutors, the games will feel fresh and different every single time. Carlos with the super chat, thank you so much. Hey Nikachu, love your work. Keep up the then high and tight and touch my camera through the fence. What? I don't know what you mean by all this, but thank you very much for the super chat. Okay, getting back to the extra turns. Extra turns are perfectly fine. Annoying for sure. Yeah, 7 is not enough. Somehow people found ways to have enough mana to fork. Wow. That's ridiculous. Extra turns is fine as long as it ends the game on that turn. Okay, that's an interesting take. Another way to win if used right. Is it like a feel-bad win then? I like extra turns because it ends the game faster. Hello from Asia. You're welcome. Where from it? Oh, it must be Japan. It's Japan. I read the kanji, the hiragana, the katakana in there. Scrub and scrubs. It depends how long they take for those extra turns. Okay, so if someone is durdling around, ban the extra turn cards. But if you can win the game, all right, it's all fair game, it sounds like. Moving on, because there's a lot of these. Apparently, there's a lot of extra turn cards in this game. Beacon of Tomorrows. Or Beacon, sorry. Beacon of Tomorrow. Someone's going to get me on my pronunciation. We could call it Bacon. Let's call it Bacon of Tomorrow. Bacon of Tomorrows. Blue, 6 generic. A target player takes an extra turn after this one. Shuffle Bacon of Tomorrows into its owner's library. To look into its light is to meet the gaze of history. This is a pretty garbage... I don't know. Is this is like Nexus of Fate, isn't it? Target player takes an extra turn. Shuffle back into the library. I'm just looking at Nexus of Fate. What's the difference? This is 7 mana. This is 8 mana. If you put it into a graveyard from it, reveal it and shuffle it. This is way better. They just made a way better Bacon of Tomorrow. Way better Bacon of Tomorrow. Unbelievable. No wonder Nexus of Fate was ended up being busted. Okay, we got the capture of Yingzhou, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And Millmaster, ban Basic Island, ban Bacon. Can't ban Bacon, because I eat it on a semi-regular basis. But thank you so much for the super chat. A lot of people were saying that yesterday. Like, they've banned so many cards, why aren't they banning Basic Island? Beacon is fair unless your library is empty, and if so, just use Thassa. Sweet stuff. So, this is just Time Warp. 5 mana, take an extra turn. Just Time Warp. What do we got next? Chance for Glory. Oh, that's an interesting one. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different one. Okay, so red, white, 1 generic. Creatures you control gain indestructible. Take an extra turn after this one. Oh no, I am thinking of the right one. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. It seems like the red ones, you get an extra turn, but if you don't win, you're dead. You're just stone dead. Josh says, new to the one-on-one commander, but even I can see how cards like Soul Ring and Mana Crypt are stupid. Mana Drain is also stupid. They're like Pot of Greed and Yu-Gi-Oh! Both people have them. Whoever gets first wins. So it's more impactful in one-on-one commander for sure, but when it's 3-on-1, if one person's like running away with the game, it is still difficult to, unless they're playing a combo deck that can win on the spot. The other 3 can gang up on them, and it can drain their resources. So you guys have the right idea. Bacon of Tomorrow. It'll always be there. Yeah, so this is just Final Fortune. That was the card I was thinking of. I am surprised that they're banning this card, because this card literally says that you can't. Is there a way to abuse it? Like, can you take extra turns after this one, but at the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game? I think you just lose the game. You just lose the game. So, I mean, you get the extra turn, and you're either going to win or you're going to lose. This one would seem fair to me. In my opinion. In my opinion. You know, if we're talking like, you know, the spirit of the extra turn cards, you're not going to get more than one extra turn after this one. Okay, we got expropriate. Oh, this card counts as dilemma. Starting with you, each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn after this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it. Exile, expropriate. Good God! That's a politics card. Oh, you can end the turn with the trigger on the stack and not lose. Oh yeah, I see. With, you know, the card end the turn. Or I can't remember. Yeah, it's just called end the turn, right? But that's like, you know what? If you're... No, what's it called? Was it end? What is that card that ends the turn? To be fair, expropriate should be banned. But you know, if you're working so hard to end the turn with the trigger on the stack, I think whatever, you win. It's really oh, it's called time stop. You deserve it. No, there's a cheaper one, isn't there? Isn't there like a way cheaper card? There's a way cheaper card than this. Maybe I'm wrong. What is with this one that's 100? Oh, this is 184 bucks. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is a powerful effect. I thought there was like an end the turn one for like way cheaper. I think I'm wrong. Ending the turn is powerful because you remove all spells and abilities on the stack. It's like basically a super counter spell. Player whose turn is it discards down to their maximum hand size and damage wears off and all that other stuff. Or maybe I was thinking Sundial the Infinite. Sundial the Infinite. That was it. That was it. I think this would, yeah. You guys got it. Glad we've got the hive mind here. We got the coffee crew. Okay, next one. Final Fortune. Is this on the reserve list? It is not. It's whiteboard. Not many whiteboarder cards on the reserve list, or maybe none at all. Okay, red. Take an extra turn after this one. At the end of that turn, you lose the game. Unless you've got a Sundial of the Infinite. Is there a new card that stops turns? Which did I know of? Sundial of the Infinite is the repeatable cheap one. Time stop can stop your opponent's turn on their upkeep. Don't stop! I don't have my coffee yet. It's okay. On YouTube, you can basically go back in time and look at the replay. Was there also Glorious End? End the turn. There we go. I knew there were more cards that ended the turn for cheap. At the beginning of your next end step, you lose. Oh my god, it's the same thing. Like red can't do anything without losing the game. At the end of that turn, you lose the game. But I think these are... Well, anyway, maybe I'm wrong. With Sundial, they're not in the spirit of the extra turn thingamabob. Okay, Gonti's Ether Heart. What is this? 6 mana, legendary artifact. Whenever Gonti's Ether's Heart or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you get 2 energy. Oh god. Energy was a pretty stupid mechanic. Pay 8 energy, exile Gonti's Ether Heart, take an extra turn after this one. Pretty sick card. Pretty sick card. Obeka is a commander that does this. The player whose turn it is may end the turn. Interesting. What an annoying planeswalker. Can you play it multiple times before it exiles? Nah, not that I know of. Okay, so Gonti's is off the list. Are there any, like, I wonder, let me know in the comments section if any of these extra turn cards seem fair. Karns, Temporal, Sundering. Oh yeah, I remember this card. 6 mana, legendary sorcery. Target player takes an extra turn after this one. Return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Exile Karns temporary sundering. Turn up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. What a beating. So you take an extra turn. You may cast a legendary sorcery only if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker. Okay, so you need actually like your commander out or something. This actually looks pretty damn strong. There's a lot of effects that stop you from losing the game. Yeah, just drag that game on. Last chance. Double red. Take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. Basically the same as the, was it Final Fortune? Last chance, Final Fortune. Who knows, maybe we'll make a millionth one of this card. Okay, so that was last chance. Oh, no. You know, for no reason, I owned like 4 foil Lighthouse Chronologists just because I wanted to. I eventually sold them, but I just want, like, I don't know, it was like 10 bucks. I can't remember even what I paid for it. Maybe I paid 10, maybe I paid 20, I don't know. What did I probably make or lose off of this card? I feel like I made a small profit. Lighthouse Chronologist. And what was the market foil? Yeah, well, yeah, I have a feeling I sold. No, I didn't sell it. Maybe I didn't sell it for a profit at all. Maybe it was just for like whatever the value was, because it only went up during the pandemic. I sold this thing a long time ago, like around 2018 or something. I want to say it was worth less. There's a bunch of them in the trade bind. It was a bunch of them in the binder at Fusion Gaming. I was like, I can't leave these in the binder. They gotta come home with me. Even though I had no place for a whole playset. Anyway, Lighthouse Chronologist. It's the one that you level up to 7, and at the beginning of each end step, if it's not your turn, take an extra turn after this one. This is a super feel-bad card. They'll make you the target. Yeah, don't sell your cards unless you need the money or have a plan for that money. I definitely had a plan for that money, but I didn't like that I didn't get a huge profit out of this card. Hey, Kenny, welcome. Time Walk, Time Warp, Nexus of Fate should be banned since you can recur them. Absolutely. I also like this card a lot. I also tried to make it work, but never did. So the deal is this. This is how you win with Lighthouse Chronologist. Don't play it until you can level it up to level 7 on the spot. That's it. That's the secret. So you're gonna have to sandbag this card into the long game, and then when they least expect it, Lighthouse Chronologist. Level them up! Going straight to 7 in one shot, and then you're gonna get your extra turns. So basically you pass the turn, and then your opponent better kill this thing, or I mean that's it. The plan was probably bacon, yes. The bacon of tomorrow. Played in Atraxa. Atraxa! Flying Vigilant, Death Touch, Lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, woo, proliferate. Okay, so it's not that big of a deal. Like, there's so many counters you gotta put on this thing, so I mean, you could put 6 counters and then Atraxa bumps it up one more time. That's about it. Anyway, this is also a card you can interact. You can kill this thing. Anyway, it got banned. No magistrates. Scepter. What do we have going on here? Okay, so it's an artifact for 3 mana. Pay 4 mana, tap. Put a charge counter on Magistrate's Scepter. Remove 3 charge counters from Magistrate's Scepter. Take an extra turn after this one. This is so clunky. This looks so bad to me. I mean, it's not that bad. Like, you can play it for 3, and that, you know, if you didn't do anything with your turn, put a counter on it or whatever. Atraxa is good with extra turn cards because it's often a walker heavy deck. Aha! Oh, I got it. Yeah. Proliferate with them loyalty abilities. Kenny says, I've collected up to so many cards over the years. I'm working on listing and selling everything. There's no way I'll ever use most of them, but even if I made a deck a month, can always buy back anything I need. You know what I would do, Kenny? This is where Mikey J would speak up. Say something about this, Mikey J. There should be, is there really a rush to sell? Oh, it's so weird right now. Economy isn't such a place you might want to rush to sell. The thing is, I would try to hold on to cards that maybe you'll use, you just don't know yet. Because it really does suck to sell everything and buy back whatever you want. Unless you're like loaded with money and you just don't care. But otherwise, you know, the magic cards are an asset. And you will, if you sell to a store, you will lose money on the exchange. You sell the cards and when you have to buy them back. So I would, when I got back into the game, I held on to all my cards. All the local game stores, they wanted my cards so badly. They wanted my wastelands, my foil wastelands. I'm like, no, I don't know what I'm gonna need, so I'm gonna hold off selling anything. And then after like a few months, after I know what I'm gonna use and not use, okay, I can sell the rest. Anyway, I did not sell the wastelands. Still holding on to the foil wastelands. Diamond hands. Alright, Magistrate Scepter is kicking the bucket. Oh my god, a Magozi? Magozi. That was not on my bingo card, that this would be ban-worthy. Does this see play at all in Commander, like, whatsoever? It looks so bad. So, enters the battlefield tapped, add a blue to your mana pool. Pay a blue, tap, put an Eon counter on Magozi the Water Veil, skip your next turn. You gotta skip your turn! What a beating this card is! Then you can tap, remove an Eon counter from Ogozi, the Water Veil, and return it to its owner's hand. Take an extra turn after this one. This is like impossible to use. Even I don't think this should be deserve to be banned. Yeah, look at large. You know what? Actually, this is a good one. Anything that's reserve list, don't sell it. Don't sell it. You look up every card, it will say if it's reserve list or not on like scryfall.com. Let's look up Black Lotus, for example. Part of the reserve list. Don't sell any of the reserve list cards, because they're just likely to keep going up. Don't do it. Lugosi is unplayable. They went hard. They went hard on the extra turn cards. The fact that Lugosi is banned. Too hard! Too hard. Whatever, they can play with peace of mind that Lugosi is banned. Next, we got Medomai the Ageless. This is a card that Fusion tried to buy for me for like, I don't know, 50 cents. And I'm like, no, I'm going to hold on to this one. Because it's like a mythic or something. Because it's a mythic. Flying. Whenever Medomai the Ageless deals combat damage to a player, take an extra turn after this one. Can't attack during extra turns. So it can't go super crazy. It's just an insanely good value card. Untap all your cards, play extra stuff. Yeah, reserve list is the ultimate diamond-handed hold. Ogozi isn't good in Atraxas since Proliferate doesn't help you get more turns. No, but you can have extra counters, right? Remove an Eon counter. So if you can get 2 counters on the... if you can just get 1 Eon counter on the damn thing... Is there any way to get an Eon counter from any other way? Is there like another card that can put Eon counters on this? If audio skipping, that means you're lagging. You are lagging. So just play the stream at a lower frame rate, or lower quality. Give Medomai double strike. Does that work? Whenever it deals common damage to a player, take an extra turn after this one. I want to say that works, but I don't know. Oh, does Ogozi bounce itself? Oh, you gotta return it to its owner's hand. Okay, then you can't do anything about this. This is absolute trash. It comes into the battlefield tapped, so you can't tap it to activate it. Then when you tap to activate it, you lose your next turn. Then you gotta put it back into your hand. They made sure you couldn't abuse this. Ogozi is the only card with Eon counters, and note you have to return Ogozi to hand to get the turn. Yeah, I'm not skipping, you are. Anyway, okay, let's move on. Mu Yan Ling. One of the most expensive non-reserve card. Oh no, this is not. I'm not thinking about this one. Which Mu Yan Ling? Oh, the OG Mu Yan Ling? What is this? Target. Oh, okay, so -10. Tap all creatures your opponents control. You take an extra turn after this one. What's wrong with this? You know, I thought, like, a lot of these bans were very reasonable. I could agree with all these bans, but there are some of these extra turn spells, like, you're working so hard for this. Are you even going to get there? It takes, what, one... Oh, actually, it takes 3 turns until you can activate this, so it's actually not too long. Mu Yan Ling. +2, target creature can't block this turn, which is a pretty crappy ability. And then eventually -10. Oh, tap all creatures your opponents control. Take an extra turn. Emrakul is not on the list for some reason. I guess because it's a lot harder to cast an Emrakul without all the busted artifact mana. With Doubling Season, you can do it. Oh yeah, Doubling Season. Doubling Season is busted. No wonder that card is so popular in Commander. Doubling Season. Double the counters of your Planeswalkers. Alright, Mu Yan Ling, because of Doubling Season, you're banned. Now, we talked about this one earlier. Nexus of Fate. One of the worst designed cards in all of Magic the Gathering, actually. What's going on here? I sold 2 Guys Cradle when EDH wasn't invented yet for about $10 each. Still my biggest regret to this day. Jeez. But that must have been a long time ago. That must have been like 2005 or something. Oh yeah, Emrakul's already banned in Commander. There is a regular ban list. This is all in addition to the regular ban list. I totally forgot. Emrakul's super banned. Yeah, it was a box topper exclusive, and it was only in foil. It was just terrible. Anyway, so this has some. This belongs on the ban. This belongs banned because it can be looped over and over again. Notorious. What is this? Notorious Throng? What the hell is that? It's the Notorious Thong. 1 blue, 3 generic. Create X 1/1 black fairy creature tokens with flying, where X is the damage dealt to your opponent this turn. If the spell's prowl cost was paid, take an extra turn after this one. So you may cast this card for its prowl cost if you dealt damage to a player. So if you deal damage, you can get an extra turn for 6 mana. Luis says, I regularly carry 8 EDH decks to EDH night at my locals. Everything from untouched precon, CEDH, Pop or EDH, French, just to accommodate different players' power level. Not a fan of store bans. But here's the thing about this store ban. It's just that EDH has not accommodated, how do I put it? Different formats for different players. For different levels of degeneracy. All right? Now, yeah, if you like to play, that's why we have competitive formats divided out. We got Standard, we have Pioneer, we have Modern, we have Legacy, and we have Vintage. So if you want to play the most busted, degenerate format possible, you go play Vintage. And it's stupid. It's beyond stupid. It's insane. You could lose on turn 1, or you could be effectively dead by turn 2. But if you want to play something way more powerful, but still within reason, you can play Legacy. And then if you want to play a format that is not degenerate whatsoever, and it's just really strategic, but still powerful, with no reserve list cards, you play Modern. And then if you hate the stupid prison cards of Modern, and some of the play patterns like the Tron lands, you hate Blood Moon, you go play Pioneer. And it's a much cheaper format. So anyway, EDH has just not accommodated different player types whatsoever, and this is what this local game stores are doing. And the only way you can curb this, the only way you can curb people's behavior, is with a ban list. It's like saying we can rule 0 Modern or something. Yeah, it's a semi-monthly tournament ban list, and it doesn't replace Commander. It's just an additional format in addition to, you know, what they already offer. The problem with EDH is that it's a social format meant to be played with a familiar pod as opposed to strangers. When playing with strangers, you have to suck it up and deal with others. Do you want even your perspective here is a problem because it is a social format for some people and it's still a competitive format for other people. There are other people who want to play to win, and you know, screw you. You know, we're playing with all the good cards because we're supposed. That's what EDA. Some people have the perspective. See, different people have different interests here. Some people are there for the social aspect. Other people are there still to win. They just want to play in a multiplayer game with the most powerful cards. And hey, you bring your best deck, I bring my best deck. And anyway, and it's like. They have this rule 0 thing, one size fits all. Anyway, I don't think it works like that. As a competitive player, I do not think it works like that. Okay, but moving on. What do we got here? Part the water veil. Take an extra turn after this one, exile part the water veil, or you can awaken it. From bazillion mana. What other format has different power level bans? This is dumb and is killing Commander. Let people play with the cards you sold to them. That's the Charlie, the thing is, if you want, let them play Vintage. I'm not proposing to add more bans to the Commander ban list. I am proposing that they create a second format for Commander. Like, that's all I'm doing here. Because there seems to be a large... There is a large... how do I put it? There is a large enough interest for that type of format. See, look at this. My group makes their own rules, so ban list doesn't matter. That's true! And I'm all for that as well. Yeah, every format has power level bans. Every format has power level bans. That's the difference between like Vintage and Legacy. Otherwise, Legacy could be Vintage, but they just let you play with Black Lotus and the rest of the cards. Yeah, it's large enough. It's large enough to for us to put this together. Oh, hold on, I gotta switch the music around, or it's gonna be like a deck list review thing coming up soon. There we go. There may not be deck list review today, because there's so many cards on this ban list. Part the well of it. Well, plea for power. I never heard of this one. If it's for tournament commander, I can agree to ban all extra turn cards. You don't want taking 30 minutes on the clock chaining extra turns and yet not win at the end of it. No, I think it's for both, really. It's for people who want... It's a matter of how degenerate do you want to play your games, because that's what it's all about. You can play Vintage at a casual level and at a competitive level, but you can also play Standard at a casual level or competitive level. That's what I'm really getting at. It depends, like how degenerate of a card pool do you want to play with? And then you can opt to play it at a casual or competitive level. And if it's a tournament, then it's a tournament, it's competitive. Oh, the sponsors. With that, it's supposed to be after the first song change, but the song changed many times. All right, FusionGamingOnline.com. Oh, Dominaria United is coming out soon. There's gonna be a stream about that today, isn't there? All right, deal of the week this week. Save 15% off all Ikoria singles and sealed product. I can't remember what's in Ikoria. Oh yeah, you get companions. They're legal in the format that you're playing. Then we got Rogren Triome. Yeah, the Triomes. Triomes are useful. It's all good stuff. Anyway, FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu. In addition to 15% off, you get an additional 5% off. And it also supports the channel. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. And your ability to play... Hold on, this changed. Oh, no, it's okay. Well, whatever. The coupon code is still good. Support the channel. Renting from Mana Traders. You can play Commander, Pioneer, Modern, all the formats. Rent as many decks as you want. Supporting the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_WBN. You know, this discourse is reminding me of when they made Pioneer and everyone got really pissy about it. They're like, oh, you're gonna kill Modern, what are you doing? Nothing happened to Modern. And if you made a second Commander ban list for the people who want to play a less degenerate form of Commander, You know, something like, you know, why in Legacy all the broken mana is banned. The tutors are banned in Legacy for a reason. It creates a very different style of play. I mean, it's still pretty degenerate, but it's not super degenerate. And it's not for just for competitive players necessarily. I need to know what commander players want to plea for more bans and longer games. Do you want to gain or see? Do you just want to bun of triggers and see what happens? Do you want wins? What? Well, it doesn't, just because you have, you ban more cards doesn't necessarily mean that, well, generally speaking, yes, the games are going to go longer. The Shaken says, I don't hate the idea of making a different EDH format with additional bans. The root problem, though, is the community that wants that will then find new cards to complain about, and it spirals down. Yes and no. There will always be people who will complain. Not going to argue with that. Everyone will always complain. But you are going to curb a lot of complaining. A lot of it. I will say, when was the last time anyone complains about Blood Moon in Modern? When does anyone complain about Tron in Modern anymore? Those were huge problems amongst players in Modern, but now they're like, well, I don't need to play against those cards. I can just go play Pioneer. And the complaining of that complaining has just been killed off. Nothing, no more. There's no, I haven't heard it in a very, very long time. Oh, we need to get rid of Blood Moon. Blood Moon should be banned. I haven't heard that in a very, very long time. Moving on, Ralzeric. This is a very funny format. I'm just going down a whole bunch of cards that get extra turns while, you know, engaging with the commentary. One of the best EDH play groups at my local game store literally just used the game as an excuse to get together and gab for 2 hours. And then if no one wins at the end, you just pack it up and go. As a Tron player, I curse Blood Moon before bed every night. Don't want it banned, though. See, we got View Film here. It says, like, all cards should be legal. Here, okay, for the people who hate the idea of getting cards banned and having a separate list, like, why even have cards banned in the first place? Why even have cards banned in the first? Everything should be off the list and just rule 0 all the things. But no, ban lists help curb behavior as to what you want to see in the format. Magic is about the gathering. How does Ralzera get extra turns? Oh, it's that really janky thing. Yeah, you have to get up to 7 loyalty, then you flip 5 coins, take an extra turn. So, like, are all these cards broken because of, like, doubling season, basically? We can't have planeswalkers anymore. The damn doubling season makes them all broken. It's basically a 4-mana time walk. The ban list is a suggestion list. They say it themselves, so play with all the cards you want. Excellent. So we can make our own ban lists. Alright, Ralzeric. Okay, hold on. Sage of Hours. Oh, this... You gotta be kidding me. So, blue one... This is, like, really hard to pull off. Blue 1 generic 1/1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Sage of Hours, put a counter on it. Remove all +1/+1 counters of Sage of Hours. For each 5 counters removed this way, take an extra turn after this one. That's ridiculous. Nikachu, you should make a new commander ban list. I don't know what it would be. It would definitely take out all the mana, though. I'd probably end up stripping all the mana in the tutors, but I wouldn't care about anything else. I'd keep the counter spells and all the extra turn cards. I don't know what it would be, though. That's broken in Orvar? Is it broken? Orvar, the old form. Changeling. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of those permanents. Is this still really broken, though? Whenever a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard a card, create a token that's a copy of that copy of target permanent. Well, it's $4. It is $4 over here, so that's way more expensive than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I look at this card like it's absolute jank. This is just jank nonsense. Was deep in thought last night, listing off all the things wrong with EDH. Shortly after I realized that I am judging the most popular format, now I've decided to let it burn. I hate people in general. Anyway, Sage of Hours is banned. I would probably not be banning. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here, because if this format is super casual, maybe Sage of Hours gets out of control. Okay, we got Savor the Moment. Take an extra turn after this one, skip the untapped step of that turn. This is really powerful. So if you just need to like, oh, how do you abuse this card? So you get an extra turn, but you don't get to untap your creatures. You'd be playing mono blue heroic. Blue doesn't have great buffs, just great protection. Well, you'd have to play with another. Oh yeah, you have to play mono blue heroic. Yeah, that would be true with that weird legendary creature. Muffin says there's actually a community that plays no ban CEDH. It is absolutely ludicrous and is everyone just tinkering out time vault combos. Yeah, there you go. That's what it likes if it's completely unhinged. Oh, Seaborn. Oh, I get it. So Seaborn Muse can help abuse this thing. Neat stuff. Alright, so Savor the Moment is Gonzo. What do we have? Search the City. Like, I'm fine with most of these. It just seems there's some janky extra turn cards that I don't know if belongs on this list. But they're just, I guess they're just being safe. We just have to ban everything. We're looking up the keyword, take an extra turn in Gatherer, and they're all gone. Search the City. Blue for generic. When Search the City enters the battlefield, exile the top 5 cards of your library. Whenever you play a card with the same name as one of the exiled cards, you may put one of those cards with that name into its owner's hand. Then if there are no cards with no cards exiled with Search the City, sacrifice it if you do take an extra turn after this one. I didn't understand anything that I just read, so I'm just gonna assume it took an extra turn and it's broken. Second Chance. Ooh, it's an oldie. And also part of the reserve list. And also $13 or 14 bucks, a little under 14 bucks. Why isn't this like super expensive? During your turn, if you have 5 or less life, sacrifice. It's an enchantment for a blue and 3 generic. If you have 5 or less life, sacrifice Second Chance and take an extra turn after this one. That is an interesting card. Is a very interesting card, actually. Like, you can't force the extra turn, but if you have 5 or less life, yeah, you get an extra turn out of this. You play a singleton format, so how would you search the city? Hold on, so how does it... exile top 5 cards of your library. Whenever you play a card with the same name as one of the exiled cards, you may put one of those cards with that name into its owner's hand. Then if there are no cards exiled with, search the city set. Oh, so it will never go off. This completely is stupid. That is hilarious. Okay, so this is it's unplayable in Commander because you'll never have the same. You'll never have this. Oh, basics. Whenever you play a card with the same name as the exiled card, you may put one of those with the. So you need you need to flip over 5 basic lands, and then play basics to put it back into your hand. Okay, so it's possible. It's not impossible. It says play, or yeah, it's just play a card with the same name as the exiled cards. Hilarious. But really hard to pull off. You have to be really lucky to flip over 5 exiled cards. Okie dokie, so what do we have here? Second Chance, then Seed Time. I'm learning about cards that I didn't know existed. Green 1 generic. Ooh, we got a green extra extra turn card. Play C time only during your turn. Take an extra turn after this one if an opponent played a blue spell this turn. Ooh, get punished. That seems like a good card. That seems like a very, very good card. What are the odds of someone playing blue on your turn in Commander? Pretty good, huh? Yeah, C time is amazing. But banned in this format. Stitch in time. Hold on, just getting back to C time. This is like the ultimate, maybe not ultimate Veil of Summer, but it's something that will make you feel really punished. Okay, Stitch in time. Blue, one generic, and a red. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, take an extra turn after this one. This card sucks. But whatever. It can potentially take an extra turn. On turn 3. And you're probably tapped out at that point anyway, so you're just hoping that you have an Explore. Seed time is sick. Just got a shout out on the Command Zone podcast. Yep. Yeah, 3 mana do nothing 50% of the time. And the other 50% of the time, you got an Explore, basically. I feel attacked by the last card on this take turns list. Is it? Okay, hold on. Next, we got Teferi Time Master. Yeah, I'm sure this is, again, with the, what's it called? Doubling Season. Or maybe just ban Doubling Season. But Doubling Season seems like a really fun card. This can potentially get really out of hand. You may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi Master of Time on any player's turn anytime you can cast an instant. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Teferi is just busted. Teferi, there's a lot of Teferis on here. Teferi Time Bender. Again, if you get this in play with 10 loyalty, take an extra turn after this one. Teferi Master of Time is insane in Commander. Yeah, just is. Oh yeah, Relentless Rats lets you play more than one. You could play as many as you want. Yeah. The Rats decks, you get that Dimir Rat deck, and you can get a Dimir Rat deck. That is possible. Okay, we got next temporal extortion. Oh, there's a black. Wow, look at this. Black. When you play, first off, before I read the card, I wish they would make more spells like this that are insanely restricted to one color and make them really good. Now, these days, they make really good cards, but there's just so much generic mana in the mana cost. Like, why? Why? Like, force people to be really punished. Punish people to play cards like this. You gotta be all in on a particular color. Alright, when you play Temporal Extortion, any player may pay half his or her life, rounded up. If a player does counter Temporal Extortion, take an extra turn after this one. That's weird. Yeah, pretty cool art too. So this is, well, my second message. So what do the question marks and exclamation points at the end of the messages do? In the past, it was just an easy way for me to find, like, read your questions. It was easier for me, if we have a lot of Q&A, it helps me differentiate someone's question from a comment, so I don't have to read, like, every single message in order to get to people's questions. Yeah, Archmage's Charm is 3 blue. Well, people play in 4-color decks, but they have to be heavy in blue. They can't be like they can't be like a heavy white deck, heavy red, heavy green, heavy red. So it's like every other color is a splash, but blue is the dominant color for any deck playing Archmage's Charm. Alright, Temporal Manipulation. Take an extra, just a 5. It's a Time Warp. Temporal Mastery. Oh yes, this card. This card's fun. This card is very interesting, actually. Yeah, this is a neat one. I like this one. It's a miracle. Take an extra turn after that. I bet the local game store owner thought they were super clever for figuring out how to use the text search feature on Scryfall. It does work. Temporal mastery, like, and this in theory could maybe be abused by putting it back on top of your deck. Question is, I don't think it's banned, right? The land, oh, what is it called? Mystic Sanctuary? Looks busted. When it enters the battlefield untapped, you may put an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. Looks like a combo. Does that work? So you take an extra turn. I play my land. Oh, I can't. Well, I can't infinite loop it though. I have to get that land back to my hand somehow. Oh yeah, you exile the damn thing. Ah, damn it. Oh. You know, it's always bittersweet when I read these comments because on one hand, I don't, you know, I read the card wrong. I don't get to do what I want to do. On the other hand, you guys saved me from looking like a complete ass. Yeah, Mastery gets exiled. Whatevers. Temporal trespass. Oh, this one, the delve card. This is busted. This is so good. Take an extra turn after this one. Exile temporal trespass. It's funny, they were on the right route. You play the extra turn card, it gets exiled. You play the extra turn card, it gets exiled. But then with Nexus of Fate, shuffle it back into your library. Where did this dumb idea come from? We all have our moments, Nikachu. Me more than others, I am sure. But here's the deal. No one gets to see or remember the times that you're stupid because you're not on camera. See, I'm on camera all the time. So every single time I look stupid, everyone sees it. And there's a recorded history of it. It's documented. One day people can just like make a compilation of all the dumbest things I say on camera. Alright, Time Sieve. This is an interesting card. Sacrifice 5. It's an artifact. Black, blue. Sacrifice 5. Tap, sacrifice 5 artifacts. Take an extra turn after this one. Yeah, Nikachu's stupid lasts forever. The idea with Nexus of Fate was to make a buy box exclusive card more valuable after a few before flopped. Yeah, but they didn't have to design it like the way they did. Didn't have to shuffle back into the deck. Just got bodied by this in Modern. Yeah, this is making a huge comeback in Modern. This is a very modern playable card. Time Stretch. Target player takes 2 extra turns after this one for 10 mana. Good God. Time Vault. They didn't need to write this down. This is already banned in Commander. They didn't need to write it down. Oh, Trunic, thank you so much for becoming a member. I'm gonna have badges for you guys soon. We're gonna have new badges. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate it. Anyway, so this is just double banned now. So if you didn't think Time Vault was banned from the regular ban list, well, they put it on the ban list an additional time. Time Warp. Classic. The original Time Warp of no, actually, sorry, that's not the original. Time Walk is the original. Time Warp, I guess, is like the little brother. Time Shifter? I think they mean Time Sifter. They wrote Time Shifter on their ban list. I don't know what this card is. Never heard of it. What's next? Voltaic Key? Absolutely. Okay, so Time Sifter, 5 mana at the beginning of each player's upkeep. Each player removes the top card of his or her library from the game. The player who removed the card with the highest converted mana cost takes an extra turn after this one. If 2 or more players' cards are tied for the highest cost, the tied players repeat this process until the tie is broken. Interesting. So it may not even go to you. You may not get the extra turn. Time Sifter, Time Stream Navigator. Oh, this pirate with a send. Get the city's blessing if you have 10 permanents. So blue, 2 generic. Put time stream navigator on the bottom of its owner's library. Take an extra turn after this one. Activate this ability only if you have the city's blessing. So it's like a Nexus of Fate on a creature. Like this one I wouldn't ban. This is hard. In my opinion, this is hard to pull off. Like you need to have 10 permanents in play, which maybe is not too hard in Commander, but like the game has gone long at this point. And it needs to live. It needs to live next turn. Oh, it does a combo with Kiki? Oh, God. You guys already know. It seems like people have figured out a break really crappy cards in Commander. I guess it combos with Kiki, but I still think it sucks. Yeah, I don't mind extra turns. You have to work this hard to get it. But also, if they work that hard to get it, they might work really hard on their extra turns and not actually win the game. Ugins Nexus. 5 mana. If a player would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. If Ugins Nexus would be put into a graveyard from the battlefield, instead exile and take an extra turn after this one. Oh, interesting. All things combo with Kiki. Are we doing deck list review today? We will not, because we will do it. We'll do 3 deck list reviews tomorrow to make up for the one. It is not really making up for anything, but just ask since I joined the stream for it. All right, so we'll do 3. We'll do 3 tomorrow. We'll do it early tomorrow because we had so much Commander talk over the last 2 days. It sounds like they should just ban Kiki. Kiki's too popular. Do people make Kiki Commander decks? Like, how common is that? That sounds like a really that should be a common Commander. Walk the Aeons. Blue, 4 generic. Target player takes an extra turn after this one. We get to buy it back by sacrificing 3 islands. Good God. Red is quite restrictive. Oh yeah, okay, that's interesting. So if you're all in on red, you're screwed. Kiki is half of so many wins on the spot combos. I guess Kiki is better in the deck instead of a commander. It's one of those better in the deck than as a commander cards. Okay, Wanderwine Prophets. Oh my god. We got a merfolk. Okay, now this is so hard to pull off that I don't even want to try. Or maybe it's not that hard to pull off. So 6 mana, 4/4. Champion a merfolk. Whenever Wanderwine Prophet deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice a merfolk. If you do, take an extra turn after this one. I gotta sack my merfolk in order to get extra turns. Okay, we got Warrior's Oath. Oh, okay. Red. Take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. Another one of those. And the last one, but it's not the end of the ban list. Worm Fang Mantra. What the hell? Oh, it's Manta. Wormfang, where are you? Wormfang. Wormfang Manta. Flying, when Wormfang Manta comes into play, skip your next turn. That's not good. When Wormfang leaves play, you take an extra turn after this one. That's great. Never seen this card before. Prophets is busted with Inala. I don't think anything that champions a merfolk overall is busted. Hold on, it was Wanderwine Prophets is in my Inala deck as an infinite combo. Yeah, Nightmare Beast. One of my prophets does not say sacrifice another merfolk. Try sacrificing itself, then reanimating it with some black cards. Oh, that's interesting. That's a way to do it. All right, so that be it. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, so we have now listed all the regular cards, but there are some extra ones at the bottom. Additional bans. Additional bans just for extra measure. Thassa's Oracle. Now, I find this ban a bit funny, because they banned all the tutors that help benefit Thassa's Oracle, so that, like, you know, they banned demonic consultation, they banned them all. So they made, at least from my perspective, Thassa's Oracle basically unplayable, and then at the end, they still ban Thassa's Oracle just for good measure. Ban all the good cards in Thoracle to disable their combo potential. And then on top of that, we're gonna ban Thassa's Oracle on top of that. We got the sponsors earlier, Julio. We're getting better at it. We're doing it early. Now here's a weird one that I don't understand at all. Ancient Tomb. This makes no sense. I guess it's like Soul Ring, and you have 40 life, so who gives a crap? Right? I don't know. I guess it's like 0 mana Soul Ring. And yeah, you take damage, but you know, it's in line with like Mana Crypt. This actually, honestly, now that I see this card, it makes me wonder why I am not playing this in my own commander deck. It would make sense. Because I can play like 1 blue Soul Ring, Ancient Tomb next turn, and I can cast like a 5 mana spell. Yeah, it's just free fast mana. It actually makes me realize I should have an Ancient Tomb in my deck to cast my more expensive spells. Maybe this ban is not stupid at all. And it's very expensive. $60, $68. It's not on the reserve list. Does that mean like City of Traders? Okay, I have a good question for everyone. Is City of Traders good in Commander? Like, do people play this card? It has a big cost to it. You gotta sack a land. For sure, EDA. The only problem is my deck is like a Merfolk deck, and there's a lot of double blue in the deck. Nikachu and the meta of building his deck through the ban list. Yes, that's right. No, we're not. There's no deck list review today. How about this one? No, I like this song. I like this Animal Crossing song. City of Traders is insanely good if you're playing a good deck, bad in a Timmy table time. I haven't seen that. You've never seen this card before? City is very much a CEDH card. It helps in combo turns. No one plays that in Commander. I'm getting conflicting messages here. Everything's conflicting. Okay, anyway, Ancient Tomb is banned in this format. And the last one, this is really funny. Cyclonic Rift. They banned Cyclonic Rift in this format. It's gone. So if you hated playing against this card, you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to show up. Especially since it would be even more devastating in this format anyway, because of like the very poor, you know, mana rocks and stuff. I would only play City of Traders in a landfall deck. Cyclonic Rift was a player-voted ban. I want to ban Cyclonic Rift. Yes, ban Cyclonic Rift. Get out of here. We have even chat here as a guy. Good riddance to Cyclonic Rift. Rift is a D-bag card. Weird that this is the best Wrath in blue, because it wraths everyone else except you. It just doesn't wrath you. I'm never mad when someone Cyclonic Rifts. I would, but I never have to face it. People have to face me playing Cyclonic Rift. And of course, I play it. I play a blue deck. Wait, is it banned? No, it's not banned in Commander. We're looking at the banned list of a local game store for their casual nights. They have this is a casual ban list. This is casual Commander ban list. Okay, so now we've gone. Okay, now there's one extra ingredient in this ban list, sorry, in this format that I don't actually understand. Maybe someone out there can explain this to me. There is a casual commander point system. Makes no sense. Like, what does this mean? Like, whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins? Like, you get a point for maybe winning the game, period? Like, how did the point system work? Or is this like a... Or does this work like a league where, you know, you're just accumulating points for multiple weeks, and at the end of the league, you get prizes based on how many points you have over everyone else? I hate point lists. So what do they do? How does it work? Because I'm looking at a point list, and yeah, I understand. So they got like +1 last man standing in your pod. So that's like winning, right? So you won your pod. I assume that's what it means. Point system has been in place for certain games action at many stores. But how does that work? No deck list today. We're going to do a bigger deck list review tomorrow. Promise. I'm wondering how CEDH scene would change if they would use this ban list. Me too! Like, here's the thing, like, when you ban all these cards, you're not making the format more casual. I think you could also play this competitively, in my opinion. Like, I think there's a lot of competitive players that would like a less degenerate format. This takes an employee to know the system and supervise the entire match. No, it's an honor system. Okay, so you get a point for doing certain things like being first to deal damage to a player. Yeah, but what do you use the points on? Or is it like air miles that you never use? Okay, I will read out the points and you guys explain this to me. Players earn the points and can still place in the tournament. It's not about winning as much as about creating the fun commander atmosphere. So you get a 1 point for winning, and you can get a bunch more points for getting all this other stuff. Okay, I get it now. So casting your commander from the command zone, limit 1. That seems like easy points. Saving at least 1 player from defeat, limit 1. Killing at least 1 player in a turn with commander damage. These are definitely things that should be put on the bingo card. Pod favorite, player vote. Oh, that's interesting. So you have to be the most enjoyable person to play with in the pod. Reaching 100 life, limit 1. Defeating an opponent with commander damage, but what is the difference between defeating and killing? Defeating an opponent with commander damage and killing at least 1. Wait, we gotta murder someone at the local game store? I think we should cross this top one out. It is technically illegal by all law. Defeating an opponent with commander damage. You can only kill 1 person at the local game store. It's the most you can do per night. Okay, anyway, playing 5 lands in 1 turn. That sounds very difficult. That should be worth 2 points. How do you even do that? Leyline of the gun. Anyway, so some of these sounds like they should be worth more than 1 point. How do you even do this? Playing 5 lands in 1 turn. That sounds impossible. Ultimate of Planeswalker. That's also very difficult. Milling at least 50 cards from 1 opponent's library. That also sounds very hard. Resolve a spell. Well, maybe not. In certain combos, you can make that work. Resolve a spell with casting cost 8 or more. That's easy. Generate 20 or more tokens in 1 turn. That can be done. Cast 6 or more spells in 1 turn. Draw 20 or more cards in 1 turn. Control 5 or more permanents you don't own at the same time. I guess that's possible. There's some cards that are like, I'll scoop up everything that you have, I'll put it on my side. And control 1 permanent of each type at the same time. Now they punish you. You got punishment with this point system. Oh, scape shift counts. That's true. Okay, so if we need to get 5 lands in 1 turn, you just play scape shift and get them all down. Okay, so now we've got punishments. So you're going to lose points to failing to cast your commander. So if you try to combo off immediately, you're not going to get any points. Okay, or you're going to get a point for being the last person standing, but you're going to lose the point because you didn't even cast your commander because it was irrelevant to your deck. -1, attacking a player in last place. What? But they were open. And they were about to die. So attacking a player in last place. Wait, hold on. You mean last place in points? Or last place in, like, life total? I think it's probably in points. Because, I mean, like, you'll always lose points by attacking the person who's losing at the table. Kill the opponent in one turn with commander damage. Kill an opponent with... Oh, I see. That's the difference. Anyway, the language should be the same. At least in a turn. No, then it needs to be specific. Like, deal at least 21 commander damage in one turn, in my opinion. They have to clarify that. It's not clear based on the language they're using. Last place in life total. Really? So you're like, you could lose a lot of points here. So basically what it does is it constantly forces you to attack a person who's like, that is interesting. So the person who has the least amount of life has like protection, because otherwise they're going to lose points. What if someone just doesn't care about the point system and decides to rally up a negative 35 points? Anyway, -1, unsportsmanlike conduct, optional player vote. I mean, there you go. I'm going to get more points for attacking the person who is losing. And -1, searching your deck for more than 30 seconds. All right, then. All right. Right, don't attack me because I necropotence to 10 and have 37 cards. Yes! Yes! And they didn't ban necropotence. Funny enough, they did not ban necropotence. Oh, that's a good one. Not showering, minus 15 points. Minus 100. Playing for more than 20 minutes while I'm dead or watching you search your deck. Can you consult? You mean demonic consultation? No, it's banned. They banned the card. It's one of their banned tutors. So does every winner get -3? They technically attacked all the players. No, not necessarily, because other people could kill other people, and you just killed the last person. But like, how do you do that? Like, technically, like, let's say it's one-on-one, right? Let's say it's one-on-one, and your opponent has less life than you. Every single time I attack you, I'm losing points. I attack the person with the least life total. I lost a point. Next turn, I do it again. This has got to be some sort of thing where if it only accounts for 3 or more players at the table. If it's like one-on-one, who cares at that point? You don't attack, just combo out, then you don't lose points. There you go. That's true. Problem solved. I don't know if that's the behavior that they wanted, but... Anyway, kudos to this local game store. They're taking control of the ban list. They're creating other format, and obviously there's a market for it. You know, I encourage I would like to see more local game stores do this, and at least prove the concept that there's a lot of room for a second, like, commander ban list. It is my player vote, though. I'm thinking it means attacking the guy that is mana screwed. Could be. Could be. Anyway, that's it for Coffin MTG. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. We do this Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. I got a P.O. box. Send me things. I'll be happy to open it up on stream. I gotta go check my P.O. box. Hopefully nothing's been sitting there for like 2 weeks. And thank you so much for all the super chats and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, I have a good fix. If you want to join the channel, become a member, you can go in the description, and there is a link to become a member. So you don't have to click any buttons. Now there is a link in the description to become a member for anyone that is on mobile. But most importantly, thank you very much, everyone, for being here today, becoming part of the conversation. You let me know about a million jank extra turn cards that actually combo off with other cards. I sent you a bag of full salmon on the 10th. Oh god, that sounds disgusting. Sounds terrible. I'll know that you're serious if I can smell the salmon from 10 feet away from my P.O. box. Well, local games, I don't know. Someone made the mention of it on Reddit or maybe my comments section, but you'll have to investigate it. As usual, keep brewing up that coffee, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves. I will see